Okay, everybody, welcome to the webinar. We are just a smidgen past 8:30 Eastern time. I've let it go a little bit because we have a heap of people just pouring in right now. So I'm going to get kicked off. So hopefully you guys can hear me all right. I've had to, with my situation right now between houses and moving, I'm literally sitting in my car giving this training, but you know, I just wanted to do whatever I could to get it done, because I really think we can add some tremendous value to the Edge members with some strategy, not only strategy, but some actual tools that you'll be able to implement into your business literally tonight. Like the second you get offered this training, you'll be able to implement the stuff that we're going through. And you know, if you've heard any of the promos that we've been talking about, this stuff is coming off the back of, you know, I've sort of been saying like 5-6 months of testing and measuring, but realistically, it's about 2 years, because, you know, after my first year as a distributor with Kyani, I had pretty much gone through my warm market. You know, we talk about operating in our warm market, and that's the fastest results you will ever get. I know that for a fact from what I've seen. But, you know, you can only do that once. And, you know, where I'm at in the business now and where I've been for a while now, those people that are left in my warm market that I have not approached, there's a reason behind that. You know, I don't think that I want to be in business with them. I don't think they'd be good value for the team. And, you know, as I'll talk about in this training tonight, I really believe we've got to have high standards as to who we do bring into this business. So welcome along to the webinar. I'm going to get straight into the slides now. I'm just going to hide my ugly mug on here so I don't see myself, and move that so it doesn't end up in my slides. Okay. So this training's about making connections. Now, tonight I'm going to be talking more specifically around cold market, but this training, when I get to the actual conversations, and what I'm going to do is share some screenshots of real conversations that I've had with people out there in the cold market. They just happen to be online, the conversations that I'm sharing with you right now, and I'm going to share a lot of tools and different bits and pieces and strategies we can use online. But also this training and the way that we're making these connections and the speed at which you can build some rapport, you can use face-to-face. It doesn't have to be online, and I've done that. I've used these exact strategies that I'm going to go through now, and I've used them in you know, the face-to-face in-person style building of the business. So just keep in mind that we can do both. So how are we going to get the most out of this? Obviously, take notes. You want to take plenty of notes. Now, if you're on this training, you know, you're probably a premium Edge member. Or you're hanging out with a premium Edge member watching it right now. Now, this is being recorded and it will be posted, so you can have this back on demand and watch it time and time again in your Edge membership. So that's the value of having that membership, and that's what we're going to do. Every special training that we bring, they'll be available in recordings and on playback. But still, you want to be taking notes, because we all know that we're all going to learn a lot more and retain a lot more if we take some notes to be able to refer back to. Ask questions. If you've got any questions along the way, you know, you can type those in the chat. I probably won't answer them along the way, because I am not the best when it comes to using, you know, the digital stuff here and doing two things at once. But at the end, I can certainly go over them. So you can type them along the way, or if you want, just hold them all to the end, and then you can type them in the feed. And we'll get those questions answered. And it's important to know that this is not what got me to diamond and beyond in the business. As I said at the beginning, it was working in my warm market and following that system that we have. That's what got me to diamond and got me further on. It's only been recently that I've you know, got good results through trial and error of this sort of building online. And the reason why I went this way, you know, I did try, after about my first year in the business, I tried, you know, buying leads. I tried buying a mailing list and emailing out. I tried different lead generation things, different advert, different platforms for different adverts, social media adverts, all that sort of stuff. And all I was doing was burning up a lot of money, burning up a fair bit of time and energy, and the leads that were coming through were never all that good. So then I stopped and thought, exactly the same process that we went through with our in-the-room DFYs, that they really, really do work. But the challenge is, getting people to those from, vast distances and people going to them every week because they become a chore. So we created what the DFYs were in the room. We created them online, and exactly the same. So it's not really a webinar style. It's more of a DFY style online where you can have the questions and answers and all of those sort of things. And so that got me thinking about, okay, if we can do that with the DFY, why can't we do that with growing our warm market? Because if you're like me, I love chatting with people. I love getting to know people in small numbers. I've only just recently become comfortable with talking in front of groups of people. But if I was somewhere at a party or some sort of social gathering, I can talk to someone really easily. So it's like, why can't we just shift that online? Why, when we go online, when we think about building this business, why do we move in for the kill too soon? Why do we try and go online thinking about recruiting? So what we need to do is go online and think about what we're actually doing, and that's getting to know someone, making a connection. It's working in my warm market that got me a big business, and then it's all this trial and error of money and time and effort that's refined this system, and which I believe can get me many ranks further through the diamonds, and also help you guys too, as long as you don't neglect your warm market. So the other thing is to plan your activity. Some of the stuff that I'll go through tonight, if you have been stagnant in the business for a while, or if you've just gotten re-engaged maybe with some of the changes and everything that we've got, some of the stuff that you've got tonight may become a little bit addictive when you have so many good conversations going and people asking for links and links going out and links getting watched. And Jan spoke about on our Monday night on the couch about how important it is to have balance. So you've got to plan your activity. So I would suggest, you lock in a certain amount of time each day that you dedicate to this work, to building connections online in the cold market. If you can dedicate 20 minutes, 40 minutes, something like that to this work, where that can get you in a few months from now can be quite staggering. So the first thing that you guys want to do is a profile audit. So of your social media. And remember, I said this can also be in real life. So you want to remove your Kyani branding from your profile. You don't want to have Kyani plastered all over your profile. You don't want to have, independent distributor at Kyani, or, distributing health and wellness product, Kyani health and wellness products, or anything. You want to remove Kyani branding. So when people look at your page or look at your profile, they don't know that you're a distributor for Kyani straight away. You want to remove any negative content. You don't want to have a page full of, airing dirty laundry, or, those subtle sort of digs that you have at someone where something's happened in your life and you're having a shot at them without actually naming who they are, and all that sort of stuff is the biggest turnoff, right? So you think about your offline life and lifestyle and the way you live and act and behave and all those sorts of things. If you act like that offline, do you make good connections with people? Absolutely not. No one wants to be around the negative person. No one wants to be around the the nasty person. So it's the same online. So you want to bring that online and remove any negative content. Hide your friends list. It's so important to protect that list. People from other companies, people from within this company. I've seen it, sadly. I know all you guys on this tonight wouldn't fit into this category, but I've seen people in Kyani, as soon as a new person comes in, they go to their friends list and they request to be friends with all of the new person's friends list, and then they hit them up for the business or for the products before their own friends. They can work through their own market. So hide your friends list and protect it with your life. That is your database. You do not want to have people to be able to see who you're friends with just by going onto your profile. And then change your settings so only you can post to your page. So anyone that tags you in anything or tries to go to your page and post, you have to approve that. You really want to protect it. It's like looking after your garden. You only want to plant good stuff in there. You don't want people just coming in there and planting anything. So you really want to protect that and remove the silly photos. You know, I've seen some really good people get caught doing some really dumb things in photos and have it posted on their page, and they leave it there because it's a bit of a laugh. And maybe within the context of the night or the day or whenever the situation happened, maybe it is, but you don't want to risk the chance of losing credibility with someone who's looking to potentially partner with you in business. So, you know, remove the silly photos. So what are the advantages of online? Remember, I'm saying a lot of this stuff you can use offline, but the advantages of online, it's global. It's literally global from wherever you are. And, you know, obviously we position this webinar to be for edge distributors in Australia and New Zealand. But realistically, I'm sitting here, sadly, in my car, but I'm sitting here in my car in Adelaide, and there could be someone anywhere, any little square inch on the planet can be tuning into this right now. So you can go global from wherever you are with online, and that's powerful, especially because our business is so, I guess, favored towards online activity with our social software. It's instant. Online is instant. The second you send it, bang, they've got it. And most of the social media platforms, you can even see when they've seen your message, you know, when they've read it. So it's instant and it's accurate. So the other thing that I love about online is people tell us what type of person they are, or what they want, or what, more importantly, what type of person they want to be, what lifestyle they want to have. You know, you look at social media and, you know, even might be some people that you know really well, their life looks fantastic on social media. And when you know them really well, you know their life's really nothing like that, but that's what they want. So when we're looking at bringing partners into this business, it always has and always will be quality over quantity. If you look at any of the people that have built massive ranks, but then kept them, this is the other thing, built ranks and held on to it, they most of the time haven't bought in lots and lots and lots of people. They've just bought in a handful, maybe a couple of handfuls of the right people. And that's where it's at. So we need to sort the people out. And our system, we talk about it all the time, you know, our system sorts people out. Our social software sorts the people out who are right from the people who are wrong and the people that aren't at the right time in their life yet. But if we use our social media right, and I'll show you some ways we can do it in the tick, we can find those people out. We can pluck those people out. We talk about our nutritionals and we talk about skincare as being a product, but you know, our business is a product and it is a sought after product. Trust me, there are people out there every day searching and looking for something exactly like what we have. And since I've been using this strategy, every single day, I'm talking to someone who's just been looking for exactly what we've got, whether it's been one of my own contacts or through line of the people that I've been testing this sort of stuff with. So it is in huge demand, and the people on social media, we can sort them out without wasting the time, without spending the time with the tire kickers. So as I said, we can tap into all of this from anywhere, and it's cheap. You know, it is so cheap. I know that time is the only, the only thing we can't get back. You can always get back more money, but at the end of the day, use your time as an investment wisely, keep the dollars in your pocket and put some effort in using some of the stuff tonight, and it hasn't cost you any money. Now, at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that I'm going to talk about tonight that you could probably automate. And believe me, I have tried it. I've automated all little steps of everything. I've tried to make things as automated as I can along the way. Some of that stuff's cheap, some of that stuff's expensive as well. But at the end of the day, you will never, ever replace a human being. And I really believe we're some of the best online marketers in the world. If they're growing a team or moving a bespoke or high-end product, I think that they drop the ball when it comes to this bit. You can never replace a human being. And the results that I'm getting now, it's because I stopped automating certain parts of it, and I'm stepping in as a human sooner. So we're going to talk about that. So what do we want to do? We want to create curiosity. You know how I said about removing branding off your page? You know, if you start a conversation with someone and they go, I wonder what Mary does, and they jump onto Mary's Facebook page, for instance, or Instagram or Twitter or whatever it is, and there's Kyani everywhere, then they know straight away, and that you're leaving the door open for them to make assumptions. You know, you would have heard me say 1,000 times, it's an education process. We need to educate people on what we have so they can make the right decision for them. Now, educating them is giving them the correct information and the correct answers to their questions. It's not them making assumptions about anything. So we need to create curiosity. I guess they need to not know it's Kyani before they get the link. They shouldn't know anything. The link should be the first thing. You know, I've had people in the past say, you know, I've got someone who won't even look at any information from Kyani, and I'm like, well, how do they know it's Kyani? Because the people that I talk with, they don't know it's Kyani. They don't know it's anything until they've seen the information. So we don't want people making assumptions. We want to get people curious. So you want to become the magnet. The end game here is where people come up to you. And I have this all the time. I have people message me and they say, hey, what do you do? Because, you know, they can look around on my different pages and different profiles, and they're not really going to find much that will you know, scream at them that, you know, I'm involved in whatever I'm involved in. And you know, I you know, move Kyani products. So they've got to ask me. So that's the first part of making a connection, is making them ask you. You know, bang, connection started. So become the magnet. So you want to become the magnet by, as I said, don't put Kyani on your profile, but by posting regular content. You've got to be active in this place. You know, you've got to show up. You know, if you're going out to parties, you know, if you're going to clubs and pubs and different social events to meet a partner, you know, you've got to be there. You know, you've got to be there for that to happen. And on social media is exactly the same. You've got to show up. So you've got to post regular content. You know, a couple of times a week is good. I sort of aim for a couple of times a week. I started testing all this sort of stuff. I was doing 3 posts a day at one stage. And, you know, I didn't really find any difference, if anything. And the funny thing is my profiles that I have, I basically, I started trying to use LinkedIn, but it's not my thing. If you use LinkedIn, that's cool. I think you should not have a lot of different social media accounts. I think you should pick 1 or 2. I basically have 2. I use Facebook and I use Instagram. But you can use all of this stuff on LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, Snapchat, or whatever it is. But you want to be posting regular content. And I think if you go too regular, you can turn people off. You know, a couple of times a week works well for me, but it might be different for you. So this is something you probably do want to test and measure. Start off with once a day, and then maybe cut back a little bit until you find that sweet spot where, you know, you're still posting regularly and you've still got the engagement, but you're not, you know, flooding the people's newsfeed with your stuff. Now use hashtags. Hashtags will allow you to target a market specifically. You know, a certain demographic, a certain group of people will find your stuff if you use hashtags correctly. You know, Beck did a post earlier on about, it's absolutely terrible news that Avon shutting down their Australia-New Zealand organisation or business because of, you know, lack of profitability. Now, that's devastating for those people. And the last thing that I would want to see would be people just blasting stuff everywhere like vultures, circling around to drag away the ones that still have a pulse and try and bring them into this company. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be that person. You don't want to brand this company as a company like that. But what you could do is some subtle things where you could use a hashtag like Avon. So Avon people would see it. But you just hide it in somewhere in the post. You don't make it your main thing. You know, if you've got something that you're an expert in, or you've got some great knowledge in, use the hashtags for that. If you hit the gym hard, some sort of hashtag around, you know, working out. You know, if you're an athlete, if you're into nutrition or whatever it is, you know, stay-at-home mum life, stay-at-home parent, you know, tradie or whatever it is. You can use different hashtags to target in and zero in on the exact niche that you want to make connections with. Priceless. And the most important thing is be real. You wouldn't believe how many people I have looking at this business, and at the very end of where we get to, and they're looking at where it comes to them looking at some information, and they have been a phony the entire time. And I just take the whole thing away from it, because I don't want to be in business with someone who's a phony. You know, and when people are looking out there, you guys would probably know just as well as I do, when I look at different profiles, there's some that are just completely full of you know, all the motivational stuff, all the quotes, all of that sort of stuff, but there's not one picture of them in there. You don't even know who they are. They don't even have their name on there. It could be anyone. You know, I've had people talking to me, and they're like, you know, millionaire investor is their thing, and then I find out they're like somebody who's doesn't even have a job and has no cent to their name, and broke trying to make some money. So you've got to be real. And the feedback that I get when I'm reaching out, when I'm doing this stuff, is when a lot of people say, "Oh my God, it's so good to finally chat to someone real, talk to someone real." You can't replace a human being, so you've got to be real at every step of the way. And this is a key thing when you're putting your posts and things together. People buy benefits; they don't buy features. I could talk to the cows come home on the features of our business, of our product. You know, the founders, the compensation plan, the ingredients. The features are crazy, but people want benefits, and that's why testimonials are so valuable. Because if it's happened for you, they can sit there and go, "You know what? That's what I want in my life. I want that." You know, there's the cliche: facts tell, stories sell. What are stories? Stories are your benefits. They're around what the product or what the business has done for you. So when you're putting your post together, think about benefits, not as much of features. So your target market or your niche. So, you know, you can go broad or you can go laser beam focus, but at the end of the day, how do you get to them? You can join some groups. You know, there's forums and groups and different things on lots of different social media pages. As I said just then, forums on specific things. You know, I was talking to someone the other day and they go, "I got no idea of how to contact people where I'm going to have some credibility." And this particular person has more than 5,000 hours scuba diving. Now, I don't know if anyone's done any diving on here, but that's a phenomenal amount of hours scuba diving. They are one of the, you know, the experts of scuba diving on this planet. So I'm like, join some groups, find some forums or some social media groups around scuba diving, and you've got to add value. You've got to be a part of that community. You've got to fit in. You've got to, just like if you're going to, like I'm in a boat club down here near my mum and dad's house. Now, you know, you've got to show up to be part of a community. You can't just have a membership and not be there. So, you know, groups are the same. If you're going to join a group, be active in the group. You know, like and comment on people's pages. Post some of your own photos and own bits and pieces. So add value wherever you can. Like, what area do you have knowledge in? And this is the other thing where you've got to be real. Don't come across and pretend like you're some crazy expert in macrame or whatever it is, and you've never done anything like that in your life, or, you know, some like superstar investor who's never invested anything. So you've got to do it in some area where you have a bit of knowledge. So you're not going to be, you know, just talking fluff. You're going to be talking real stuff. And again, use hashtags. So use hashtags to find these groups, to find these people, to find your niche market. You know, I know on Instagram, I use hashtags all the time to find the people that I'm looking for, to find the people who I know are out there working hard when everyone else is, you know, when 90% of the people are out there partying and stuffing around. There's 10% of people that are out there, they're working hard, and they will tell you that. You know, you can use hashtags to find these people. You type in whatever hashtag it is, you know, daily grind or, you know, hustle, side hustle, and all of this sort of stuff. You know, running it down. People use all these sort of tags to tell you what they're doing. So use the hashtags in your search bar on your social media to find posts and groups and people with those in that particular niche or that particular market that you want to go and work with. You know, affiliate marketing or whatever it is. You know, people that are out there doing something left of center, doing something on top of a normal job. So this is an app called Canva. If you haven't heard of this, this is a fantastic app to download. It will allow you to create these little photos and posts, and you can add text and different features and things over the top of your photos, and you can use them, as you can see there, on Instagram, Facebook, or you know, whatever other thing. You can just cut and paste it out of there and post it on whatever you like. Now, you know, you can get there's stock images in there, or you can go to Google and just Google image search something, or even better, use some of your own photos. I love to use my own photos. So, you know, when people, you know, when it gets to the point of having a three-way call or a Zoom or something like that, and they can see me and chat, they're like, oh my God, that's actually you from the photos. So, so yeah, Canva is a good app. Make sure you jot that down, download that app, and have a play around with that. The second app that I like to use, or the website, is displaypurposes.com. Now, this is absolutely sick for hashtags. So where it's got hashtag film written in there, you can type in any hashtag you want in there, or in a certain niche or area that you're wanting to either work into and target, or use in your posts to attract people. And if you type one in, so I typed in work from home, then look what it does. It produces all these other similar hashtags. Work from home, one, MLM, network marketing, it works, Vima, MTA, or like it just keeps going with so many different hashtags. It takes the guesswork out of it. You know, Zig Ziglar down the bottom there. It's like the type of people that follow Zig Ziglar and listen to some of his teachings, they're the type of people we want in the business, right? So these are the hashtags that you want to use to search, to look for people, and these are the hashtags that you want to put in your posts. Now, just a little hint or tip, only ever put 2 hashtags maximum in your post. So never put more than 2 hashtags in your post, because the search engines and the way that searches work in terms of like ranking you and getting your exposure or engagement, you don't want more than 2. Now, if you want more than 2 hashtags in what you're doing, put the rest of the hashtags that you want to use in the first comment of that post. So if people searching the hashtags they will still show up because it's in the comments. So I'll say that again, only use 2 hashtags in your actual post, and any other hashtags you want to use, chuck those in the first comment of your post. So building rapport, this is massive. I had a good conversation with Green Diamond, Miss Danny Loxton today. This is Danny Loxton. And building rapport it's everything. If you don't know what rapport is, the best thing to do is look up that in the dictionary, because the definition for rapport just tells you everything about this business, about people joining people, and you need to build rapport and create rapport. So the best way I've found to do this, the shortest step from A to B, from no rapport to absolute rapport, is to do it through asking questions. You know, I find whenever you catch up with someone or meet someone that you haven't ever met before, there's a lot of talking that gets done, right? And not a lot of listening. I'll just put it that way. So what you want to do is get very good at asking questions and listening. Now, get onto their favorite subject. Now, you might go, but I don't know what their favorite subject is or whatever. You don't know what their second favorite subject is. Everybody's favorite subject is themselves. So get onto that as soon as you can and do it by asking questions. But really listen and really be interested. Like, don't just, like, this is where you got to tell yourself and know the outcome when you start this building rapport, whether it's face-to-face or whether it's online. What am I doing here? I'm not here to pique someone's interest. I'm not here to invite them to look at something. I'm not here to sell a link. Okay, I'm only here right now to build rapport or build a relationship. So ask the questions and really listen. I've shared a couple of times a story, and it was actually 2 years ago right now, because I got a reminder today of the flight that I was on with Beck and the kids. But we had the ILA, which is coming up in March next month in Texas. 2 years ago, that event was in Florida. And we flew over for the event, took the kids and took someone to look after the kids. And then after the event, we went on a big holiday, and we were booked on a cruise through the Bahamas for a week. And we're going through customs, just getting our passports and everything sorted, or immigration or whatever it is, not customs. And I'm looking around, and there were just, I don't know, there just seemed to be so many young, attractive people in the room. And I turned to Beck and I'm like, is there like an incredibly large amount of young, hot women here? And she goes, I was just about to say the same sort of thing, but guys. And I'm like, oh yeah, they're here too. Like, what's going on? And you know, nothing really clicked. And anyway, we go onto the ship, and they say, go up to the, the main deck, and have a welcome cocktail. And if you hang around there for an hour or so, everyone's bags will be in their room by the time they get there. So we jump in the lift and we go up, and the doors open, and there's me, Beck, and our two girls. And when the doors open, the DJ is just tunes going sick, like pumping, crazy party. All the guys are just in shorts with tans and six packs and pecs, and all the women are in like G-string bikinis. And everyone's like early 20s. And Beck and I just look at each other. We cover our girls' eyes, our kids' eyes. It's like, what the hell? Where are we? What is this? And Beck had actually booked us on a spring break cruise. We were like square pegs in a round hole. But just with these two things here, asking questions and really listening and being interested in what they're saying, Rebecca and I became the two most popular people on that ship. Everybody was 23 years old, and we're like mid to late 30s. And everybody wanted to hang around us, and nobody knew anything about us. But we were always asking them, so obviously, you're here on spring break. So what do you study? Oh, they tell us, oh, that's interesting. How did you get into that? And we just keep going, and they just want to talk about themselves. And I've still got friendships from 2 years ago from perfect strangers that I just bumped into on a ship. And that's when this sort of stuff really sunk home for me. It's about asking questions and listening and actually being interested, not thinking about what you're going to say next, but listening to what they've got to say. So look to add value or help wherever you can. Too many people just hold on to value and answers and secrets or hints and tips that can help people. Give that stuff away. Give it away for free. At the end of the day, whatever you give back, you give out, you get back. Whatever value you can add to someone else, you'll get that value back. So add the value and give it away. And hopefully you'll see in a few of my conversations that I'll share in a tick, some of the value that we can add. So use your questions to steer the conversation. That's something a mentor of mine told me years ago. The person asking the questions is controlling the conversation. So you want to make sure you use the questions to steer the conversation where you want it to go. And use your questions to eliminate any excuses. You might see in some of the conversations that I'll show you in a tick, I ask people sometimes, what sort of a time commitment would you be able to invest into, creating another income stream? So when it gets to the end, they can't say, I don't really have the time for this because they've already told me. So I address these things, their work ethic, the time commitment, the funds they have available to invest, all of this stuff. I address these through questions to eliminate them before I get to the point where I'm sharing information with them and following them up. So if they have some sort of excuse, then they either, there's either something that is a legitimate excuse that hasn't been through the stuff that I've eliminated, or it's something that I have eliminated along the way and they've just been lying to me the whole time. So either way, I don't want to bring those into the business. If it's a legitimate excuse and that the timing's wrong for them, and if they've lied about something, you don't want to bring a liar on. So eliminate those excuses beforehand. So use those questions to eliminate the wrong people so you don't bring the wrong people in. Cool. So I'm just going to get straight into some questions now. Been going for a little bit over half an hour. That bit took me slightly longer than I thought. But all right. So here's someone that I got started. Now, when you start these conversations, I do them in direct message. So whether it's mine's Instagram here, but it can be any of the other ones. Use direct message so it goes directly to them. but then screenshot or copy and paste the things that you say into your notes section. So you're not having to type them forever. Because when I first started this, it used to take me forever to type the conversations out. But when I learned about the questions that I was asking and the direction that I could steer these conversations, you know what? Most of what I had to say was the same every single time. So now I just copy it straight out, paste, copy, paste, bang, bang, bang. These questions can get really fast. These conversations can get really fast. And what used to take me, you know, maybe if I'd have 2 or 3 conversations going in half an hour, now I can have like 15 conversations going in like 5 to 10 minutes. So the first thing, when someone follows me or a friend requests me, I'll say, hey, thanks for the follow. I really appreciate it. I love connecting with positive people on here. I like your page. Where are you from? So, hi there. I do too. I'm from, that's Albuquerque, or abbreviation, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Cool. I'm from Adelaide, Australia. Wow, that's awesome. And I said, you know, I really like your page. What motivates you to post all the inspirational stuff? Because you know, a lot of people post the inspirational stuff on their page, and so I asked that question to sort of see where they're at. And she's got, you know, well, a few things. I think that life is too short to take chances and to live a small life. I want to live a big life, a happy life. I want to motivate others to do the same. I want to help people out of their own way and quit using excuses as to why they can't do something. I listen to a lot of motivational speeches. I'm really focused on educating myself and changing my mindset to become more positive and productive. There's so much negativity elsewhere, and I know it's hard to stay positive. Oh, sorry, she's broken it up. I know it's hard to stay positive and focused. It's so important to focus on mindset and positivity every single day. So then I've said, that's awesome. Blank. I've just blanked out names for, I don't know, privacy reasons, but that's awesome. You've totally inspired me right now. Like, so this is where you've got to be honest and open. That after reading that, I was like, whoa, you know, this chick's inspirational. And then she's got, I'm also a workout fiend, and I think the way we take care of our body says a lot about our lifestyle. So I encourage healthy living and focus there too. I get excited when people want to be and do better. So think about when we're talking about sorting people out and finding the people that are right for this business. In the first 5 seconds of this conversation, this lady has told me that if this is all true, she's exactly the type of person I want to bring into this business. And then she's looked at my page. Well, you have the same mentality from what I see on your page. What motivates you? And then I said, it sounds like I'm very similar to you in terms of mindset and work ethic. So I'm building rapport the whole time. You know, that's a bit of a compliment in itself, saying even if I'm not like her, that's someone I want to be like, right? I wish there was more like you. I wish I was more like you from a workout perspective, because, you know, I'm not in such good shape. But, you know, I love to contribute to others. Social media can be so fake. People get hung up on the material things like watches, cars, and money. Don't get me wrong, I love those things. But all that stuff will only ever give you momentary pleasure. It's about personal growth and contribution that will give you sustainable joy. So that's a copy paste for me. That is something that I say all the time, because that's my why. I don't know if you know much about me and my why in Kyani, but contribution and personal growth, that's 100% of my why now that I've got an income built. That's why I'm here and that's why I'm active. That's why I'm doing this training, right? So she's like, LOL, I can motivate you to work out. I agree with you there. I don't care about materialistic things. You should see my house. It looks like I just moved in and I've been here for 4 years. Little laughy face. That's funny. I had a chuckle. I'm a bit the same as that as well. Although Beck's not. And she really comes on to me hard to make sure that's not like that. So anyway, I have what I need, but I do want to travel more and move to Texas, actually. You could have knocked me over with a feather. This is on the 23rd of January. Like, I already know that I'm going to be in Texas shortly. So it's crazy how this stuff happens once you start this, right? You attract it. So I want to create my own business and help other people with their nutrition, fitness, and mindset. Oh my God. I want to help other people with their nutrition, fitness, and mindset. So that's what I'm going to do. So, man, that's us. That's what we do. You know, our products help with the nutrition and fitness side and the mindset, and our business helps with the mindset and our culture. So then I've just said, you know, I was doing really well with my training and workout, but I've been let down by an old injury that needs surgery. I was supposed to get that fixed next week, but I have to put it off because I had a serious accident a couple of weeks ago. Can't have the surgery now for a few months, so I can't play any sport or lift weights for 6 months. I'm usually very active, so this is going to hurt. So again, just being a real person and being open and honest. And then I was like, cool, I love Texas. The people there are amazing. I'm actually going to be there in March. So I know, well, that's a bit different when you, that's a bit different then. You aren't active due to an injury. Sorry to hear that. You'll pull through and be able to train before you know it. Awesome. I'll be in Texas end of February, maybe beginning of March to see my sister. What are you doing in Texas? What are you going to Texas for? I have a convention for our company. Bang, there's an opening, right? What are you going to be in Texas for? We've got a convention for our company. Notice I only just said a little bit. Curiosity. Cool. What do you do for a living? This is a copy paste send for me as well. I run a few different businesses, one in health and well-being, one in timber, another environmental project. I also run a leadership academy, and I'm heavily involved in a charity. How about you? Wow, that's amazing. I'm an assistant manager for an apartment community, also trying to build a business with Herbalife. So she's in the industry. Again, ticking all the boxes, but right now, I don't know if she's fired up and passionate about Herbalife or not. I really want to work for myself and get out of property management. And then I said, Herbalife is a great company. How long have you been there? How long have you been with them? So, you know, I don't want to like take away from another company. I want to pump up the industry. This industry needs more successful people and more people, you know, not hopping from company to company, just jumping at a shiny object, right? Herbalife's obviously a good company. They've been around for how many years? So I'm not going to bag at the company. I know what we have is better, but I know that they've got to be half decent because they've been around for so long, right? So she goes, well, I started using the products July, lost 16 pounds, then became a distributor in September. So not too long. I'm still learning ways to build a business. So then I'm saying, okay, what are your biggest challenges building the business? Learning how to talk to people and market. I've been this hermit my whole life, and now I'm challenged having to learn to reach out to people and build relationships daily. So she understands what needs to be done, but she's having problems doing it, right? So I'm very personable, so that's not the problem. I've just always kept to myself, and to build a business, I have to be social and talkative. LOL. Does this make sense? Yes, makes perfect sense. The reason I see most people fail in network marketing is because they are not the superstar that you have to be successful. They need a system that is a superstar, a system that breaks down all the barriers stopping you from building a great business. Are you working directly with someone who has the level of success or results you're wanting to achieve? So notice in that little thing there, I spoke about all the things that we have in Kyani and Team Fusion. You know, you can always work directly with someone who's got fantastic results. So she said, for instance, I started going to training on Tuesday nights and talking to some of the successful Herbalife Nutrition Center owners. I definitely need more guidance. I know that. I have a sponsor, but he's in Florida and not very available. So I found local people and started talking to them and asking them questions. And I said, I can't stand the weekly trainings and the hotel meetings, etc. That's very irresponsible of your sponsor. That's what gives the industry a bad name. So wasn't happy with that. She goes, yeah, LOL, me too. But I make myself go because I always feel better afterwards, like I do have some guidance and help. It helps me get my mindset right. And then I said, I've built a business of 15,000 in business partners in 32 countries around the world without having to ever do a home presentation or go to hotel meetings. I do love big events though. I love energy, excitement, and I love catching up face to face with the team. And then she said, yeah, he's very focused on his own goals and very materialistic. So I don't really want this. I don't really want his help. I know I can find good helpful people here if I look. So I've sort of spoken there about, I've addressed, you know, having success without having to do the things that she's finding difficult right now. So she goes, wow, that's amazing. How on earth did you do that? I guess if you don't have to go to a ton of events, it can be really fun when you do go. And I said, yeah, we have a hybrid business model that combines network marketing, online marketing, social media. I can build a business from wherever I can get phone service. The secret is having a system that is a superstar, like I said. Then to nurture and work closely with your people until they are successful. It is a retention business, not a recruitment business. Most companies and people don't get that. Over the last 3 years, I've helped over 150 people create 6 and 7 figures of income with our unique hybrid business model. Oh, really? Tell me more. So interested. Actually, my friend and I are in the process of creating a new webinar to help people that are not getting the results they want in their business. I'd love to get your feedback on it. Goes for about 30 minutes though. I'll send it through, and if you can let me know what you think. So still, I'm not sending it to her to recruit her. I'm sending it to her to get her opinion. And she says, of course, I really love that. Awesome. Here's a link to the recording of the webinar. It will show you some features of our software and our system. Bang, we'll link out. So then all of that was on, that was one day. Then I went to sleep and I woke up the next morning and the link was out at 6:44 a.m. So then later that day, I didn't forget about you. I watched the webinar today. I said, okay, thank you. And then I followed her up a little bit later saying, I hope you're having a great day. Did that link I sent through work? She goes, yes, it did. I just messaged you on Facebook. And I don't check my Facebook all that often, and it was there, sure enough. So, yep, I just got it and I replied. So that was how it went through. So she was all over it after a little bit of a conversation, a little bit of rapport, a little bit of trust, trying to help her for a little bit, and then coming from an angle of removing all of the challenges, all the benefits. Remember I was saying about benefits, not features? Like the benefits of being able to do all that without having to do the hotel meetings, without having to do the weekly trainings and all of that sort of stuff. So when you can do it all online like we can, people want that. And that was her biggest challenge. So she's now a distributor in the business. Man, time's ticking, so I'll keep going. So here's another one. So how often do you get these messages? I get these a fair bit. I don't know about you, but it's always something similar like this. Sometimes it just says, hey, like literally nothing else but hey. And I always ignored them, but now I start chatting with them because you never know where it can go. But this one said, hey, thank you for following me. Awesome page, by the way. Message me back so we can connect. Like this is, some of this is really good and then some of this is not so good. But this guy was very close to being on the right track from where I was sitting. So I was interested from just his message. But then this bit, you can also click the link in my bio to see the system I use to generate consistent income. I look forward to talking with you. So think about what I've been talking about in this training and then think about that. Just one message. And he's trying to sell me a link from one message. I don't know this guy. I've never spoken to this guy. I've no idea. And I click on his page and it's not him. It's just all other posts. So then I said, I love coaching these people and helping them with what I know, I suppose, and what I've learned with this business. So I come from that angle first up. So I said, thanks for reaching out. I like your page. What do you do for a living? I love asking that question because this is where you can sort the fakes and phonies out from the real people. And straight away, this guy goes, security and affiliate marketing. How about you? So if he just said affiliate marketing, it could be two things, three things really. It could be, yes, he's a successful affiliate marketer and that's all he has to do. It could be he does affiliate marketing and something else, but he's trying to recruit me for affiliate marketing, or he does two things and he's not successful at all and he's just pumping the affiliate marketing. But for this guy to say security and affiliate marketing, I've got respect for that straight away. Then it's the same copy paste send message that I use when people ask me what I do for a living. And he said, awesome. How long have you been an affiliate marketer? The question I asked. Almost a year. So I said, awesome. How's it been going for you? It's been going okay. Could be better. So this guy's honest. I love honesty. They're the people we want in the business. And then I said, do you focus on one particular niche? He said, no. And I said, sometimes having a laser focus in one area can produce better results. What are you finding most challenging? See, some of these questions are the same ones popping up over and over again. He said, true, right now, just knowing what to do as things are changing and not sure what I'm doing is worth it anymore. So I said, a lot of people think the online space is easy. Do the work once and get paid forever type scenario. But it's like anything in life. You get out what you put in. And if you don't have a mentor or a coach with the runs on the board guiding you, you're in for a long, hard slog of challenging frustrations. The good thing is we fail our way forward. Fist pump. So in that message there, I've spoken a little bit about some of the features of what we do without even going to what we do yet. It's not the features of what we do, the benefits, some of the benefits of being a business partner with us, about working with the people that runs on the board that have, failed along the way. And then I said, if everything went amazing for you over the next 12 months, what would your life look like 1 year from now? That message, I use that all the time. If everything went amazing for you over the next 12 months, what would your life look like 1 year from now? He goes, totally true. Been doing it alone mainly. So he's still talking about the question up above, or the statement up above. And then he's got here, I would quit my security job first. Then I'd probably enjoy a little celebration. Then back to grinding it out and to keep growing and pushing myself. So then I said, we've been chatting for all this time and I actually don't know your name. So then he's introduced himself. And then I said, pleased to meet you. I'm Michael. Where are you from? Nice to meet you. I'm from Canada. Nice from Adelaide, Australia. Obviously, you have some entrepreneurial blood flowing through your veins. So there's a bit of a compliment. You know, these people want to know that people think that they're entrepreneurial. He goes, cool, I'd love to go to Australia. Thanks. Just been working for employers and tired of it. Like the rest of us, man. Not like the 95% of people out there. People are aware of it and they're trying to get out of it. So I said, I know the feeling. The 9 to 5 grind never has, never will get anyone wealthy. Can I ask you, that's supposed to say ask, can I ask you a personal question? He's like, very true, sure. And I love asking that before I just go flat out into questions, because that sort of builds rapport and trust in itself, to say that you respect them enough to ask. So then I said, how would you describe your work ethic? And he said, hardworking. And I said, obviously you have a pretty good mindset if you've been sticking with the affiliate marketing stuff with not a lot of success. The keys to success long-term are having the right mindset and a strong work ethic. And then I've said, there are 2 qualities I look for in people that I work directly with. I'm about to kick off a fresh 90-day mentoring program with my online business and looking for hungry, business-minded people to work with to help them create another income stream with our unique business model. If I send you some more information of what we're doing and where we're going, would you watch it? Sure. So this is one of the fastest that I've gotten through to sending a link, but I could tell that he was hungry and he was honest. So cool, here's a link to a little bit, blah, 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 blah. There's the link. And then he's like, can't click it. Really, it's working for me. Try this one. Then he's like, that still won't work. I see that it's clickable. So he's just copied and pasted it in his browser. Let me know. Are you on Facebook? Yes. And then he gives me his Facebook thing. And then did it work? Yes. And then we connected on Facebook. And then, so this is just the building rapport training up to getting the link out. That's what I'm showing you here. Obviously from there, you know, I followed up, I did the 3-way call, and here's another person who's now in our business as we speak right now. I'll show you one quick last one, and then we could probably go on to some more questions. So another one, you know, they come in like this. Hey, how are you? And I'm good, thanks. How are you? I'm great. What do you do for a living? So this guy's just straight in for the kill. So I know that I like to make people work hard if I know that they're trying to recruit me into something. So I just said, I own a few different businesses. Would I know any? Would I know of any? Probably not. One's in health and well-being. That's a copy-paste send. I said, how about you? What's your full-time gig? Remember, I asked that because I know he's going to try and recruit me for something, but is he doing it full-time? Is he successful? Or is he, you know, struggling and slugging it out? So I'm starting a clothing brand and managing a startup record label. I could learn a lot from you. What would you say is the most important factor to your success? So now he's coming from, I guess, a learning perspective, and he liked what he saw on my profile. So this is why it's important to keep your profile looking attractive, right? So he said, without a doubt, I said, sorry, without a doubt, it's mindset and work ethic. He said, what's the most difficult part of the process? Remaining consistent. There's a million distractions out there. It is tough to ignore what's going on around and stay focused on the task at hand. He said, thank you for these answers. I have one more, as if to say, you know, sorry, I've got one more question. How did you get your first sale? And I said, sales is solving problems for people. You need to have massive belief in your product or service. You need to have a product. You need to be a product of your product. And their life has to be better because of using your product or service. You can highlight to them their problem, a feature of what you're selling, and then a benefit for them, and continue to do this. You will make sales. In the beginning, what you lack in skill or talent, you'll make up in numbers. I said, how old are you and where are you from? I'm 22 and I live in Toronto. What do you mean by lacking skill or talent and make up in numbers? I said, nice. Thinking that way at 22, you can create an amazing life. So never apologize for asking questions. It's not the answer that enlightens, it's the question. Let's say you convert 1 out of 10 prospects into customers, and I convert 8 out of 10. To get the same sales as me, you would need to present to 80 people. Does this make sense? And he goes, thank you for this. And yes, makes complete sense. He said, in the few minutes we've talked, you've been a great help. Thank you. Would you mind doing me one more favor? I said, maybe. What are you thinking? Would you mind following my personal account? So straight away, I've built trust with this guy because I've come from a place of helping him without pitching anything to him. And he wants me now to connect on his personal account. So I said, sure, thank you again. Have a great day, sir. I said, not a problem. I said, so where are you based? And this is where, if you have too many conversations going, which I had at this point, you will stuff up. And I completely stuffed up here. He goes, Toronto, you? And I said, oh, that's right. You already said that. I'm from Adelaide, Australia. So my parents were just in Toronto last week. I've always wanted to visit Australia. What were they here for? Visiting their friend. That post I did yesterday about not being able to buy success, the jet in the background, the jet in the picture is my mum's best friend's. Crazy. And that's serious. My mum's best friend has this crazy private jet. I'm jealous as. But anyway, and I said, I have business in Canada. And as I said, I'm always looking to partner with motivated, driven people. In the last 2 years, I've heard that's a copy paste send. You sound very busy with what you are doing, but would you be open to looking at another income stream? He said, of course, I would. Right now, I work at a warehouse to pay my bills. And here's the truth coming out, right? I work at a warehouse to pay my bills, and I do everything with the time I have left. I would love to build an income that can help me afford to quit the warehouse job. I said, that's it, tick. Working full-time on your job and part-time on your fortune's the way to go. We've been chatting for ages, and I don't even know your name. So you can go through and build rapport without even knowing each other's name, right? This is crazy stuff. My name is such and such, blocked out, obviously. Nice to meet you, Michael. The problem is my financial situation isn't great. It's barely even good. So this is where I'm going, okay, so there's probably going to be some challenge here around getting an enrollment pack. So I said, great to meet you. His name. It's not your fault you came into this world broke, but it's definitely your fault if you leave broke. I just pinch lots of little inspirational things here and there and use them for myself. You can do the same. So I can show you how to get set up with an online international business for very little upfront investment. We run business through a phone app. Would you like me to send you through a link to download the app? Yeah. What's very little? I said anywhere from a few $100 to $1,000. Okay. Is it a one-time thing? And this is where this is where I was back and I was testing downloading the app as opposed to sending links. And I really do prefer to send the link from social, directly from social through the app rather than downloading the whole app. But anyway, he said, is this a one-time thing? Yes, there are no locked-in ongoing fees. Okay, awesome. What's it called? And I said, what's your phone number? Because I wanted to use the app and put him in through the app as a prospect. I'll save you with my contacts and send you through my number. The app will tell you everything you need to know, and we can chat after. So he's given me his phone number there. Where are you going to send a link? I said, where do you want me to send it? Here or text it? He said, here's fine. So bang, there goes the link out. And there's tons of information in this app, what we do and where we're going with this amazing business. If you ask for a referral code, it's Your Better Health. So this is obviously all app download stuff. And then this was late at night. So I'm going to sleep now. We can chat more tomorrow, as I'm sure you have more questions after going through the app. He's like, deal. Hi, this is me following up. How did you go with the app? What did you see in there for you? He goes, it went well, but I have to be honest with you, man. I can't get distracted by another shiny program. I have to be focused on what I'm growing now. So I totally understand that, but are you getting the results you wanted by now when you first started? Are you getting the support and mentoring to help you succeed on a massive level? With that said, I'm about to start a 90-day with handpicked entrepreneurs and directly work with them. In the last 2 years, I created more than 100 six-figure earners. And then I did a little screen grab of him and I circled it. In the last few minutes we've talked, you've been a great help. Thank you. So then I've sent him that screenshot and I said, if I can help you this much in a few minutes, imagine where you'll be 1 year from now if we are working together every week. I'm serious when I say I think you could have what it takes to blow up. I don't work with just anyone. So this is me being a little bit of an egotistical maniac. Yeah, actually, this guy's not in the business now, and I wouldn't do it this way. This was the early way of me doing this stuff. But just as I said, testing and measuring. And then he said, "How long do I have to think about it?" So I said, "No pressure, take your time, but obviously the sooner the better. I'm about to start another small leadership group, and I'd love for you to be part of it." He's like, "Thank you, really appreciate that." So that was in October last year. Now this guy's still not in the business right now, but I'm still in touch with him. And you know, I really think he's just trying to get the money together for an enrollment pack. But you know, that's fine. So hopefully those examples of some conversations helped you a little bit with how they flow and how you can use questions to guide people to certain areas. And remember to copy your conversations and paste it into your notes so that if you're having very similar conversations, you can just go and get it. So here's a couple of quick tips just to finish off. You've got to move fast. Now, there's so many times where I have had really good people ready to get started, and then I have held them back for whatever reason. You know, I'm testing lots of different things. I started out not wanting anybody to come into my team unless I had done a Zoom with them, because you can tell a lot about someone when you chat with them face to face. So I have had people trying to sign up and then me stopping them and saying, "No, let's have a Zoom tomorrow." And then when tomorrow comes around, the Zoom never happens that day, never happens the next day, and the excitement drops, the urgency and everything drops, and they don't get started. So you've got to move fast. If I've got someone ready to get started now, I still really do want to have the Zoom with them face to face. So I'll do the Zoom there and then. I remember I was in Melbourne for the international that I went over there in, when was that? November, I think. The night before, my numbers were bad for the day. I always set goals around how many connections I want to make and how many links, and I didn't have any links out for the day. So I stayed up. This was about 10 o'clock at night, and I stayed up. I wanted to go to bed to get up early, but I stayed up for like 15 minutes just making connections like that. And one guy just jumped on it, and I got a link out. Then he started chewing up links, and it was questions back and forth. And it got to like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, "Dude, I need to go to bed." And he goes, I'm trying to get started now. I need help getting started. I said, "Listen, I'll have to talk to you tomorrow because and so bang, lost him. And he was an awesome young entrepreneur. And I'm still struggling to get that conversation back and going. So you've got to move fast. Always move fast. This business loves speed. Don't neglect your warm market. Like I said, don't just grab some of this stuff that I've been talking about tonight and drop everything that you're doing. Dedicate some time to this. It will start off slower. You know, the test group that I've been testing this stuff with, we did it late December. I think it was like 3 days before Christmas, 4 days before Christmas or something. I did a little training like this with them. But it's been a little bit happening in January, but most of it's been this month where the activities dropped in. And when I look at my activity, there's a little bit of a lag from when you start to when you get really good at it and get it humming, and the numbers drop in. So never neglect your warm market. Just have this ticking along in the background, and never stop this. Always continue to do this to grow your warm market. Don't sponsor for the sake of sponsoring. If you feel in your gut that they are the wrong person for this business, do not let them in. You know, anyone who's been around for a while has seen the results of what happened when we have the wrong person in this business. It is not good for anyone. Even if they can grow fast, short term fast, and bring lots of people in, it's still not good. So be careful as to who you're bringing into the business, and make sure that they do fit with our culture. I mean, think back to that first conversation when, you know, someone who wants to be part of something that's helping people with their fitness and their mindset and their nutrition. You know, that's what we want. And I've got no doubt that should be a diamond this year. So nurture and support your business partners. It's crazy how much growth you can get from nurturing and supporting your business partners as opposed to doing all the work yourself. And if you love the SV checks that come in, you know, I know that short-term money, it's awesome. It's fantastic that we get that money and we get a bonus paid out like that. But it can become addictive, you know, because there's a good little injection of a bonus there when you bring someone into the business. You know, you can you can get addicted to that and just focus on bringing the next person in for that short-term hit of cash. But at the end of the day, you'll make many times more money, much more money if you bring the right people in and nurture and support them in business. You'll even make more SV. Now, again, I'm not going to say this to brag, but just to show you the possibilities, right? So my biggest ever week, now this is a week, 7 days for SV, so that bonus money that comes in for new people joining the business, my biggest ever week was a smidgen over 9,000 Aussie dollars for the week, just on new people joining the business. And that week, I didn't even sponsor a new person myself. So even that can come in if you nurture and support your team and the right people. So it's all about retention. It's about bringing the right people in and retaining them and setting them up to win. Whoops. So that is just about the nuts and bolts of it. I'm going to quickly open up the chat here and see if we have any questions. If you have anything else, fire them away now. Yes, whoops, I'm pushing buttons all over the place here. All right. Are you recording this? Yes, this is recorded, and it will be in your, it will be in the back office. So you mentioned to remove Kyani branding from your profile pages. What about Team Fusion branding, e.g. entrepreneur at Team Fusion? See, I don't like having too many things that people can see and search for. But I've got to admit, I do put a bit of Team Fusion stuff in here and there because I'm slightly passionate about our mission as Team Fusion and our software. The system that Scott Bolch, what a legend that dude is. Scott Bolch and Todd Thompson, the system that they came up with, do you know how much business that's built for me? I would not be where I am if I didn't have that system, and I wouldn't be able to attract the people I'm attracting to the business right now if I didn't have that system. That system is so sexy. So I do, but again, in an ideal world, remember curiosity. I don't think you have any branding there, but Team Fusion isn't as well known as Kyani, I suppose. If people request you on Facebook, would you add them straight away or go on Messenger to chat and find more about them? I actually just, if, you know, you get the dodgy ones, the fake, as soon as I get a friend request on any social media, I just go and look at their page. And if they're a legitimate person, yep, I'll accept them. And then start, if I think that they look like someone who I want to bring into the business, yes, I'll start to chat with them. So those chats were on, that was on Instagram, direct messenger on Instagram. Hashtags for Instagram, not Facebook. Facebook hates hashtags. So that's from someone who I learn a lot from, Mr. Adam Griffith, a phenomenal young entrepreneur that knows a lot about the online space. So if he's saying that, I suggest we listen to it. So don't use hashtags on Facebook. Need to learn hashtags. Does this work for gathering customers? Absolutely, because you know what this is? This is our system, our success pack, those steps to success. This is the first step for that. Now, I do this for bringing on customers as well. So as I said, I've been testing and measuring it for a while, but the system that I sort of trained on tonight and how I've been doing that, it's only really been sort of December and January where I really, you know, gave it a good crack in exactly the way that I've trained you guys now. And both of those months, I have brought on 3 business partners and 1 customer. And in January, one of the business partners I was actually approaching to be a customer, and it turned into being a business partner. So yes, you can use it for gathering customers as well. So you just have those conversations and you wait for the opening. There was also a fantastic training that Mr. James Bradford and also Mr. David Nieves filmed, where a guy over in the US did some training around acquiring business partners who are personal trainers, and you know, those the really you know, in good shape, the people that are in incredibly good shape fitness wise. That training is really good, and a lot of the stuff that he spoke about in that training, it's very similar to this. It's about asking questions and leading down the right path. So I think Jan shared that in our Team Fusion Australia page. So if you search for Jan Bidstrup in our Team Fusion Australia page, you'll see a post that he shared there, and you can use that for business partners and customers as well. So this training, this process, 100%, it's our steps to success, but it's just moving that building rapport part, fast tracking that online, and yes, you can use it for customers. Your last bit about moving fast, get it, but what about dropping the system using three-way calls? So, that's a really good question about, our system. Now, if you look at the system and we talk about it being a funnel, so we drop people in the top and they go from exposure to exposure to exposure to exposure, and people drop off along the way and people pop out the bottom ready to get started, but people also drop off the side to get started along the way as well. Some people I bring into this business have 12 exposures and some people have 3. So if I have someone ready to get started before the three-way call, I absolutely never stop someone from getting started. I never hold them back, even if it's like, let's say I want to hold them back till next month because it's going to benefit me. Wrong. Never do that. Never hold anyone back. If they're ready to get started, bang, get them started as soon as they are. But here's the important thing is when we nurture them and train them, we train them on the system. And then we highlight to them and say, you were ready to get started at this point. So this is where you got started. But if you didn't get started there, this would be the next point and the next point and the next point and so on, and highlight that to them. And I keep saying, tattoo our steps to success to the back of your retina. You want to own it. You want to live and breathe it. You want to automatically know those steps. But if someone's ready to get started before the next step, sure enough, get them started. Never hold them back. Always move fast. You would obviously launch these new distributors via Zoom. Yes, I absolutely use Zoom to launch even people here in Adelaide most of the time. I'm not even going to be based in Australia soon, so I use Zoom for everything, and I'm excited about the fact that we can do that. And I've been building business all over the world now since we've been doing the online stuff. I noticed you use Stop the Rock. Is that your favorite link? If not using the app. So this is, again, warm market, very warm market, early days. I loved the app. I can get someone who I'm really close friends with to download that app, not a problem. But someone that I don't have a really great relationship with is a bit of a sticking point sometimes. It's a big commitment for them to download an entire app. So that's where I love using a link, because it's a smaller step, a smaller commitment. Now, using the links, my favorite one that I use most of the time is turn your smartphone into a payphone. I love it. Talks about business, talks about system, talks about products. Love it. I also use A Better Way. I use that one usually for the people who are more, so I suppose materialistic focus, like focused on, the cars, the money, the trips, all the luxury items, because that's Double Red Diamond, Mr. James Bradford, doing the presentation in a pretty casual environment, but in his house, which is like sick with all the toys. So I use that one. I use, obviously, product if I'm talking to potential customers, or I break it down and use just fluoresce or just nutritionals if I'm talking to someone who's nutritional focused or skincare focused. But the one I love the most is the turn your smartphone into a payphone. Do you have your settings to friend only or open to all? I don't have it set to private. Like if I look at my my Instagram page, it's not set private. Anyone can see that and jump in. My Facebook page, I don't know, actually. I think, the public can see that as well, and the public can see what I'm posting. And I don't think the public can comment, though. I think only friends can comment, or friends of friends, something like that. I heard hashtags better in comments in Insta. Yep. So that said that at the start of the training. LinkedIn, use only 3 hashtags, and you need to post 3 times a day, every day, to create momentum, as people are not always on LinkedIn. Tracy Kitching, I know you're kicking butt in League Knit at the moment, and you're booking in 3-way calls left, right, and centre. So I'll take that on board for sure. How do you answer someone who is seriously ill or in a bad state of health-wise and doesn't see many changes in a month? So I'm guessing that's someone that's been on the product for a while. I always just say, you know, a lifetime of abuse takes more than 5 minutes to turn around. You know, if you have been abusing your health and well-being and nutrition, you know, for many, many years, it's going to take more than a month to turn that around. You know, there's no magic drug in this. It's just really good quality nutrition. So it does take a while. Also, if someone has a reaction to the products in any way, how do you reassure them that the products are there to help and not to hinder improvements in their health? Well, you know, if someone has bad reactions, they could possibly be allergic to something in the product. You know, it's all natural stuff, but, you know, you can be allergic to natural things. So, you know, if someone has, I've never had that happen with someone have a bad reaction, but if I did, I'd be recommending them to see a healthcare professional, because I'm certainly not one of those. So what link from social is converting the best? So that's where I said that I like to turn your smartphone into a payphone personally. But like I say to most people, if you like it, chances are the people that you're talking to will like it. But if you're operating in cold market, you know, it is a little bit of a test and measure thing. And I've done it. I've tested and measured. I've tried many different links and many different approaches. If we had more time, I would have showed you more conversations where I've messed them up. I started a conversation today and really tried to mess it up for this presentation, but even that conversation started to go well, even though I skipped steps. So I didn't have a chance to get a messed up one. But I just keep going back to turn your smartphone into a payphone because it keeps converting really well for me. So there's another section here that I've just opened up, which is actually Q&A outside of the chat. What type of content do you post? I post anything, like lifestyle stuff. Remember I said about benefits? People buy benefits, not features. So I post a lot about benefits, a lot about what the product's done for me and my family, and a lot about what the business has done for me and my family. And then I put the odd personal post in about family and friends and life with nothing to do with business at all. So I mix it up. Where can I learn more about hashtags? You know, where I learned about hashtags was just going to the people who I want to be like, and the people who attract the right type of people that I want to work with. And I looked at what hashtags they're using. You know, the best copycat wins out there. You know, all of this stuff now, none of this stuff is, I'm not smart enough to come up with any of this stuff. All of this stuff is just, you know, stuff that I've stolen along the way from people that are far better than me at this stuff. But this is the best way I've found to use it, to get engagement, to, you know, I friend request so many people that are in those niches that I search. I go seeking them and I request them to be my friend, and they follow me back. And you know, you can automate a lot of that sort of stuff as well if you want. And we're actually working on some stuff which hopefully we can bring to the table for Edge Premium members, where we'll be able to automate people that want to, will be able to plug in their social media stuff into some automated stuff that we're doing. But that's just in the test phase at the moment. How do I promote using Kyani Sapphire cars? So perfect. You know, definitely the months that I've picked up cars, or I've had team members picked up cars, I've had heaps more growth, and I've had people come back. You know, you're planting seeds. Whenever you share what we have, whenever you make a connection, you're planting a seed. And some of those will sprout straight away, some of them will sprout later. But things like Kyani cars, man, that's fertilizer for seeds. They get seeds sprouting straight away. So again, you know, you've actually legally or contractually with Kyani, you've got to do a video and post and say thank you. So, you know, there's a time where you can't leave Kyani out from your social media. But you know, that's a pretty sexy thing to be showing around anyway. So what tips do I have in terms of photos and posts? Again, just lifestyle stuff, benefit stuff. You know, don't go rubbing it in people's faces, but little subtle things, having things in the background here and there, using hashtags like dream car, these sorts of things, get people, you know, engaged. In Facebook, where do you go from the settings tab to look at friends to hide. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but it's in your settings somewhere around who can see what posts, and privacy settings, I think it's under. So just have a play around with that. Would it be a good idea to set up a new or separate social media account just for this? Yes, it would be. You know, the last thing that you want to do is, you know, that's why I don't use my Facebook all that much for this, and I went straight to Instagram and got busy there, because I had no activity really on Instagram and not connected with hardly any people. So I don't want to be, you know, attracting Kyani people to my social media engagement. I want to be attracting people outside of Kyani, right? So it could be a good idea to set up from scratch, start from new. Then you've got to get busy with content and posting, that's for sure. I'd like to see some stuff ups, Mike. I think it would be helpful to see more traps. Yes, I can possibly get a little video together of maybe a B section to this. I probably won't do it as a live training, but we could probably do a B section to this of how things can go pear-shaped or how things can go wrong. Please clarify hashtags on Insta to only, but none on Facebook. So in your comment in your post on Instagram, the actual body of text that's your post, only ever use 2 hashtags in that. If you want to use any more, make sure they're in the first comment on Instagram, on the first comment of that post, so not in the actual post. And going by Adam Griffiths' expertise, don't use hashtags on Facebook at all. So yeah, I learned that. I've just learned that. So I think that's all we have in terms of questions. I really hope that tonight has been some great value. We've had lots and lots of people on tonight, so you know, pressure was on a little bit with everyone pumping up this training. I hope I've delivered, and I know if you embrace some of this stuff and implement that into your daily activity and you're consistent with that, you will get some great results. So we've been going for almost an hour and a half now, guys, so I'm going to wrap it up there. Thanks very much for jumping on, and I will talk to you all very soon. For those of you in Adelaide, I'll see you face to face on Saturday, and the other guys, I'll see you guys online. Cheers. Have a good night.